Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid and Mr. Bunko from 3 Mississippi. How you guys doing today? Uh, so it's cold today. It's a little chilly, and we're getting a little bit of sprinkles and rain off and on, which is good, much needed. Uh, Man, it's been a busy couple days. Um, I got to hang out with my family, and we had our date night on Friday night for my birthday dinner of just Mike and I, and then we had our friends Beth and Ryan over last night with Jen and Will, our other friends, and had our birthday dinner and hung out. And I do a couple of my presents on right now. I've got my little flamingo earrings on that Jen gave me. Um, so it was a nice evening. We had some local barbecue place that we refer to as the Lord's Barbecue because it's right next to a chapel in town, and so everybody calls it the Lord's Barbecue. It's really good, and so we had that and had a nice evening together and just kind of hung out and chilled. There was a concert in town we were going to try to go to, but I was like, you know what, guys? I just feel like hunkering down. I don't want to have to drive anywhere. I don't want to have to drive home. Like, let's just hang out here and just chill. So the boys hung out and cleaned guns and talked about dad jokes or whatever, and us girls hung out in the living room and talked about all kinds of stuff. And so we had a really nice evening. So that was fun. And before then, we had you guys know obviously Beulah is the horse that we were given for Frankie, and she's been going through a little, her growing pains of just adjusting, I guess, to her new life and her new people. And she's been doing really well. She's made a lot of progress, and you can tell some of the things she knows the commands and she knows what she's supposed to do, but it's like it's coming back to her. Like it's been a minute and she's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember this." And it's like she's hesitant. And then part of it is just that she's a mare and she's has her moments where she's like, "No, I don't want to do that right now. I know that's what you're asking, but I don't want to do that right now." So, in the mornings, I'm generally the one that, because Frankie has to leave for school, I go and refill her water trough and scoop out any leaves, and I brush her in the morning and that kind of stuff. And, just give her a little interaction in the morning. And she's got her routine down and she likes her routine. Um, but uh, the day that yesterday, before what I'm about to tell you happened, in the morning, she was acting funny. Like she didn't want to come up to the front part where her trough is. She was down behind the goats, and she kind of took her a while to come up. And when she did, she kind of ran up and like did this prancy. It wasn't like a trot. It was more of like a prance is the only way I could describe it. Like she was in a good mood, and I was like, "Oh, you're spunky this morning, okay." And then she didn't want to move over when I told her to move over because I was brushing her other side, and she was kind of angled weird. And I was like, "Okay, move over." Normally she moves over, no problem. She just kind of looked at me and gave me that, bombastic side eye and didn't want to move. And I was like, "Girlfriend, you need to move over," you know? And so then she, as a horse will do sometimes, she just kind of leaned over and nipped at me. Didn't even leave a mark, but just was kind of like, "Hey, I don't want to. I'm telling you no." And I was like, girlfriend. So I was consistent with her and got her to do what I was asking her to do, which was a series of things of, back up and move over and whatever. And then she was listening. So I praised her, told her she was a good girl or whatever when she did what she was asked, but she did not get a treat that day, that morning. And then we had our friend from church, Will, coming over, which I did film. I haven't looked at the footage yet. I did not mic him because it all just sort of happened. It started real quick. And so I didn't mic him and it was kind of windy. So it may be more B-roll than actually a lot of what he was saying. But he gave some really good instructions, some really good tips. He's got a long history with equestrian programs and working with horses at MSU and all that. So um, he was very, very good with Beulah. You can really see the progress over the course of, I think he was here for about an hour and a half working with her. You could really see the progress in her in the course of that hour and a half because um, And some people disagree with this, but one of the things that Frankie has learned from when she was taking lessons was how important groundwork is. And there's different types of groundwork, that you do, whether it's just giving verbal commands and having them come when you call them, and different, picking up their feet for you, and, little things like that, sometimes big things like that. But lunging is another thing that Frankie has been used to doing. And we're kind of under the impression that maybe Beulah had never lunged before, and she wasn't sure what Frankie had been trying to get her to do. And Frankie was getting frustrated that she couldn't get her to lunge because she watched all kinds of videos. She read a bunch of articles on it. She's like, I have tried every tip that I have found, because Beulah kept turning in. And she was just getting real frustrated with her. And if she'd get frustrated, I said, okay, you need to walk away from her now, because you're getting upset. You're getting mad at her, not mad, but, frustrated with her. And that's not going to help, because that's just going to make her dig her heels in more right now. And so even yesterday, after acting up for me that morning a little bit, Frankie, she wouldn't come to her. And so Frankie walked down to where she was in the pasture, and Beulah took off and ran away from her and was acting, like, haha, you can't catch me. And then she finally was like, whoa, whoa. And she got up and got her halter on, and let her over. But she was still kind of being a pill. Like, she knew, and she didn't, when she first saw Will, she was like, kind of wonder if maybe she doesn't like men a whole lot. Because she's now with 2 different men, has acted that way a little bit at first, where she's like, no. So that very well could be the case, that she, some animals don't like, when we first got Skylar, one of our dogs, she didn't like Mike. She was scared of him. And we noticed that she really didn't like when he had a hat on. So it took a while to kind of build her trust and make her realize that, Mike is fine, and whether he has a hat on or not is okay. And when we have people over, if they have a hat on, it's okay. Nobody's going to hurt you. And I don't know if she'd been hurt before or whatever. We have no idea. But, because we got her when she was a little bit older. But regardless, she was very nervous about gentlemen, specifically in hats. But anyway, so maybe that could be the case with Beulah. Maybe something happened to her at some point, and, I've seen her with Anthony, the gentleman that we got her from, and she never had a problem with him. So I don't know if there was something about the ball cap, or I don't know, that she was a little leery of, or maybe it just happened to be she was in a mood. She's a mare. That could be it. But anyway, so we get her out, and he starts working with her, and man, she picked it up so quick. And Frankie today, now hopefully it's not supposed to rain later after lunch today. We just got back from church and their choir practice, and we'll be heading over to Sunday lunch soon. And then when we get back, Frankie's gonna be able to have some time to work with Beulah. And it's cool out right now, but it's not cold. And the rain, whatever little rain we're supposed to get, should be done by then. So she can work with her, and go over, everything while it's fresh, in Beulah's mind, and kind of work with her this afternoon. So, and she said, I'm excited to work with her today. She did so well yesterday. So, so I may make that, at least in part, Friday's video with, showing her progression from learning how to lunge and do that kind of groundwork, and Beulah learning, what is expected of her. And then being able to kind of show her working with her today, and see how that goes with her kind of being more one-on-one with her, and not having somebody helping with the instruction. So, we'll see how that goes. But she is a sweet horse. She does want to please. I think it's just a matter of relearning certain things, and certain things her learning for the first time that maybe she's not been taught before. So, but she's doing well, I think, and it takes time to settle into a new environment when you've been on a different environment in a different space without as much interaction as she gets here. She has a lot more stimulus here, whether it be from people or other animals that she's interacting with. So she's she's got more going on now and in her little world, and I think she's enjoying it. She also does sometimes just like to go off and have her solitude. I've noticed there's times where she doesn't want to talk to anybody. She doesn't want to, she just kind of wants to be alone and graze in one corner for a while, or she wants to, do her thing. And then if she sees us over here, sometimes without calling her, she'll come up and want some attention. Um, Bunko always wants attention. That is never, it's never not a thing. But it was really nice. It was great to, Will was really helpful, gave Frankie some really good tips, and really showed her, um, you know, how to kind of get her going on some of this stuff. And just kind of reconfirm the fact, he's like, she's a very mellow horse. She's a really good horse for her to have, to be working with. There's nothing that I haven't thrown at her today that she didn't take in stride. He even tried to get her to kind of wind up a little bit to see if she would react, and she took it all in stride. Like, she didn't, and he has a very gentle way with the horse. So I felt like he was firm but gentle. And I feel like Beulah specifically, I've noticed, seems to really respond to that. There's like a fine line. If I'm too nice to her, she doesn't want to listen because she feels like it's an option. So there's like a fine line that I have to walk between when I give her a command and my expectations of her meeting that command before I give her praise. Because if that's just how she kind of, her attitude, but she's doing good. So I'm excited to see them work together this afternoon. I love this weather. I love fall weather. It's beautiful. It's a little bit chilly. Yeah, so it's gonna be a good day, Tater. It's gonna be a good day. And then kind of a busy week this week. Sort of a lot going on. A few things at church that I got my finger in that I got to work on this week, and my dummy self. We had our friends over yesterday, and so I had taken it's Pastor Appreciation Month, and today was my day to give our letter and our gift to our pastor and his wife. And I had stuck them on the side because we had people over, so I didn't put it where I would normally put something that I needed to take with me in the morning. So epic fail on my part. So I walk into the doors at church and I went, oh, I left it at home. After reminding myself 12 times and thinking about it and, writing this big long letter, I still left it at home. But they're going to be at church this evening for youth, so I can bring it by. Also, I know where the parsonage is. I know where they live. I can always leave it on their porch later this afternoon. So I'm going to make sure they get it today, because today was my day to appreciate them. So I have to make sure that happens. But gosh, I felt like a dummy leaving it at home. I was like, really, Sid? Really? But it's fine. It's no big deal. But anyway, so and then I got to make a big double sheet cake. They're doing some football thing on Friday, and I got to bring that and maybe help with that a little bit Friday afternoon. And then Mike's leaving mid-morning on Friday. The whole gang is going up to meet up in Arkansas to go fishing. All the boys, all the YouTube boys. It's let's see who else going. I think I may forget a few people, but I know David's going from Come On Homesteading, Tim from Ridge Life, Gary from SLR, Anthony from CRC, Mike from DD5. I think that's everybody. I might be wrong. I might be missing one or two guys. I'm not in that group text of that trip, and trying to get information out of your husband sometimes is like, good luck. Like he used to say, he'd come home, how men are, like, somebody at his office might have, just had a baby, and like, I know who it is or whatever. I'd be like, oh, how's the baby? How big was it? Like, boy or girl? I don't know. They never know the details. So, but I do know I have to wash some bedding and help pack him some stuff up that he needs to take so that he can be comfortable for a couple of days while he's up in the mountains with them. But I know he's really looking forward to that trip with the guys, and hopefully we'll get some good footage out of it that I can turn into a nice little video. That will be nice. I know he's going to be doing some fly fishing, and he's excited to do that because he hasn't gone on a trip like this in years. He used to go, we used to go up to a place in California in the Eastern Sierras called Lundy Lake, which is what our dog is named after. Lundy is named after her, our German Shepherd. And we used to go every year. That's where we went on our honeymoon. We went to Lundy Lake and we went trout fishing. And we would go every summer. And then the year before I got pregnant with Frankie, I didn't go. He went with some guy friends from work. And I didn't go. I think I had to work. I forget what was going on, but I didn't go. And then I didn't go the year I was pregnant with Frankie because I was like, it really doesn't sound appealing to sit in the car for 8 hours on the drive up there. Because I was very, I'm pregnant. I don't want to go do that. My pregnancy was, I don't want to say it was a rough pregnancy, but it wasn't like the women that you see that just have that glow when they're like, oh, I'm pregnant. No, I was happy to be pregnant. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel great all the time. So anyway, so I didn't go. And then when Frankie was little, we didn't go on a vacation for a little while other than we went to go visit his parents in Arizona, and we went to Disneyland when Frankie was a little bit older. But then when she was about 3, we took her to Lundy Lake for the first time. And that was the last time that I've gone up there and gone trout fishing. So it's been a minute. She was, she's 13 now. So it's been a minute since I've been able to go do that. So I'm excited for him to be able to go trout fishing because I know how much he loves it. And specifically fly fishing, that's his jam. So I think that's going to be a really good break for him, a little de-stressor, to kind of get up there and have that guy time in nature with the fish and do his thing. So I'm excited for the guys to have some male bonding, some fun outdoor male bonding. I'm sure there's going to be lots of stories, and I'm sure they're going to have a good time. So I'm excited for that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go inside and take my church clothes off and put some sweatshirt and jeans on for tackle the rest of my day out here. So as always, guys, I hope that your week is off to a good start on this Monday, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. And as always, guys, safety's off.